It's a story written by me. It's called The Way to a Man's Heart. I might as well be invisible, I sighed. He doesn't notice I'm there half the time. What about entering the Easter cake competition? Suggested my sister. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. If I could bake, which I can't. Janet smiled. You could always borrow a book from the library. It was a brilliant idea. Since my divorce, I taught myself all kinds of things from books. From basic do-it-yourself to growing runner beans. Baking a cake should be a doddle. I went to the library the next day after work. Gavin was behind the counter. I'm looking for cake making for dummies, I told him. He smiled. Would this have anything to do with your boss, the recently divorced Alan Jenkins? The man who won the Easter cake competition last year? It might have, I said. He bet me he'd win again. This time. I wondered if your wife had any favourite recipes. Gavin's wife died 3 years ago. She used to win all the competitions. I'm useless at baking, so it needs to be idiot-proof. Gavin frowned, and I wondered if I'd upset him, but then he nodded. I know the perfect book. Great, I pulled out my library card. It's at home. Come back tomorrow. You can keep it as long as you like. I don't need it. The book was gorgeous, crammed full of mouth-watering cakes, but as I scanned the first recipe, my enthusiasm evaporated. Separated eggs, 3 different food colourings, the list went on forever. It looks difficult. Some of them are. Try the Easter Bunny carrot cake, page 76. It's less complicated than it looks, plus it has the wow factor. The cake looked amazing, thanks to its topping of artfully arranged caramelised carrot wedges. I thanked him and hurried home, keen to give the recipe a go. I went back to the library the following week to change my books. Gavin asked how the baking was going. Not well, I admitted. First time I got halfway through, then realised I didn't have any yoghurt. Then one of the eggs was bad. I had to throw everything away. He nodded. If you put them in water, fresh eggs sink, bad eggs float. I wish I'd known that earlier, I said. I'll have another go at the weekend. Good luck, he said. What happened this time? Gavin asked the next time I visited the library. My sister called while I was caramelising the carrots. I ruined my best saucepan. I'm calling it a day. I put a book on the counter, but Gavin wouldn't take it. Get a timer from the pound shop. Line up your ingredients before you start, and remember to check the eggs. You can't give up now. He spoke with so much authority, I almost clicked my heels. As it happened, the next time I tried, everything went perfectly. The cake looked wonderful, but would it win a competition? I wasn't the best judge. To me, any cake is delicious. I took it to the library so that Gavin could sample it. I'd really like your opinion. I can't, not here. He pointed to a sign prominently displayed on the wall. No food or drink. Oh well, thanks anyway. I was about to leave when he stopped me. The library closes soon. I could call round later. You'd have to supply plenty of tea to wash it down. Luckily, he was smiling. What's the verdict? I asked as he took his first tentative bite. I could hardly breathe. I was so nervous. It's very good. He took another, much larger bite. All you need is more practice with the topping and you'll beat Alan, guaranteed. Are you going to the fair? I mean, if I beat Alan, it will be down to you. He nodded. When you beat Alan, he said. By the time Easter came along, my cake was perfect. When I took it to the hall for judging, I noticed another almost identical cake on the bench, but I didn't care. I knew how good mine tasted. As tradition demanded, the results were announced in reverse order. When Alan took 3rd prize, I thought I might actually win, but I'd come 2nd. Who's won? I hissed to Gavin. Wait and see, he said. The judge paused, as though listening to a silent drum roll. For the best cake I've ever tasted, 1st prize goes to Mr. Gavin Richardson. He held out the 2nd Easter Bunny carrot cake. You, I gasped, but it's exactly the same as mine. It should be a draw. Mine has a secret ingredient. Gavin lowered his voice. A dash of Cointreau. Makes all the difference. At least you won your bet. I didn't say that I'd only made the bet after talking to Gavin. It was never Alan I was interested in. I need to thank you, he said. Helping you with your baking, well, it's helped me to move on. I lost interest in so many things after Alan died, even cooking. Then he said the words that made my heart sore. To make up for not winning the contest, how about I make you dinner one evening? I said yes. I didn't tell him I wasn't bothered about the cake competition. It was an excuse to go to the library, like learning about do-it-yourself and gardening. 6 weeks later, Gavin finally confessed the truth. His wife was a dreadful cook. All those years when she'd won cake competitions, it was him who'd baked the winning cakes, not her. Now we're married, he does most of the cooking, which suits me down to the ground. In the end, my sister was almost right. The way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. The end.